Oh god, the cat's being cute as heck right now. He's trying to hide underneath the blanket, poking out his paws, trying to see if he can still find me, if I'm still around, trying to bite his head, but either way, welcome back everybody. Today, we're taking a look at this lovely, a couple of news pieces here that I just want to quickly go over here. Not each piece in itself was worth, well, like a whole video dedicating to it, but both of them together, maybe a little bit here. So we do have the dev blog here for brand new parts coming up the new season here. The first one they actually showcase in the thumbnail of the blog itself. It appears to be like this chubby version of a melee part here. You can see this kind of a rounded hemicircle here with what appears to be either like a port or a gun port of some sort with 4 blades on total of the vehicle. So I'm not quite sure if it's meant to be an actual active part here. It looks like it also has some headlights. It's definitely supposed to be a front or rear bumper of some sort. So I'm not sure if it's like an active melee weapon or like a frontal machine gun or something of that nature. But it does look pretty interesting here, and it's very rounded though, so it does look a bit odd here. We also have this lovely legendary autocannon here, which I believe said is a direct ascendant of the version of the whirlwind here. So essentially that means the further out you shoot your shot and you land it, congratulations, you deal more damage. Who would have thunk here? Perk allows you to attack unexpectedly and force the opponent to guess where the shells come from. As planned, these shots while autocannon will take the owner out of invisibility with a certain delay. So that's pretty interesting here. So that immediately upon firing this gun, it doesn't actually take you out of invisibility there. Okay, so is that the perk instead there? So I'm actually not sure if that's a continuation of the whirlwind then. Its rate of fire is lower than the epic counterpart, but successful hits will deal more damage. Its average parameters of mass and durability will allow this weapon to be used in various types of vehicles. Alright, so it's a pretty decent sounding autocannon it is. But I'm not quite sure how the damage perk is going to work on it. Plus, it also just depends on the energy of it as well. If this thing becomes like a 7 or 6 energy beast, I can't imagine this being terribly useful, but we'll have to see. It'll definitely be interesting because right now, when it comes to autocannons, the best autocannon in the game is still probably going to be the Cyclone, hands down, with this immense rate of fire and its excellent durability. So I'm going to be kind of interested to see how that actually competes here, or if this is going to be like the long sniping, sneaky version of it. Of course, yeah, we have the epic course shotgun, ironically enough here. And let's see what they say about this thing. Everything is exactly as Cyclopete likes, decent shell damage and high resistance to contact damage, which allows you to perform ramming maneuvers. The part also allows for some damage through itself. Okay, so basically the same thing as all the other Goblin shotguns. But now you can combine the bullet and contact damage even more effectively because the shotgun is planned to have the perfect purpose. After you deal contact damage with the shotgun, its bullet damage will increase for a certain amount of time. No doubt it's time to ram the enemy. Alright, so that seems pretty interesting. So it's essentially a Goblin, except now when you ram somebody, you actually get a little bit of extra damage perk. Alright. It'll be pretty interesting there. I wonder if it's going to actually keep the 2 energy requirement too as the Goblin, so it'll actually be as good. It also appears to have a way longer barrel here, because with the Goblin here, it's actually pretty stout and just all blade. This one appears to be all gun there up front, so I actually wonder if it's going to have a even more limited angle of fire here, but I doubt it. We also have a special weapon reload booster here, which is actually, ironically enough, we already have a lot of weapon reloading parts. I mean, we have the Colossus engine, we have the Cerberus cabin, the Omni box, and there's probably something else I'm forgetting. And then now we're going to have another weapon reload booster here. So if you are anyone that reloads your weapons here, you're now going to have just an ungodly amount of reload time here. Like I mentioned this with the Colossus, the Fusion for the efficiency, the Cerberus here, and this. Like if your reload speed goes up there into like the neighborhood of 50%, god, drone boats are going to love that. Oh, especially with that cheetah engine too. That'll be ridiculous here. And I'll be shooting here. And if you see it reloading, the special module was ready for use. So I'm actually curious what it's also going to mean for like reload when it comes to cannons, pyres, all that stuff. But also for things like drones too. It'll be interesting though. And we also here have a return of another train plow here. So it's not quite the Antiquity train plow from the open beta testing here, but it definitely does seem to be an interesting train plow here with that nice kind of chevron look to it that we all love here, except this one appears to have all of these little spikes inside of it too, so it's much more of a people train plow, which, active. Very nice, very dangerous here. Interesting to see how the parameters are in this. Because the thing is, the trained plow would be open beta. It used to be massive. It used to be like 1,000 kilograms, so it was heavy. So I wonder if this one's going to be of a similar type of weight category too. But alright, that's my thoughts and opinions on the brand new parts that are upcoming for this season here. Very interested to see what actually the whole season shakes out to be. And definitely does seem to have a lot more parts than previously thought here. So they are putting in a lot of effort in for this, which is great too, because they got rid of all the stuff from the Raven's Path and all the other stuff leading up to it. So they're definitely putting in a butt ton of work here. But beyond that, we also have the brand new update here, 12.65 here. And it's a bit of an interesting patch here. We do have the inclusion of the Level Literally Crossout Day Brawl here, which is actually really kind of an interesting mode here. Essentially, you play from 3 pre-selected builds that kind of rotates within the battle, and all of the vehicles themselves are player-driven. And the quality of these builds, it varies quite a bit, to say the least. There are some builds that are like, alright, I can see this being reasonably combat effective, and then there's just a lot of builds that are just straight up art builds, like the giant hand build, or there's a build that you could be like a person riding on a pony or something like that. Builds like that where it's like if you're playing to win, you cannot use these builds. But there's also just builds where it's very questionable in its entirety. Like there is this weird Arbiter build that was just a single Arbiter with like 6 boosters and the Drift Trike. So it was just like a build that made absolutely no sense, and if you were trying to win, congratulations, you're not going to. But essentially, you do damage, and depending on the amount of damage you do to a cabin, and if you kill somebody, you get a certain amount of pointage based on that damage, and whoever has the most points in the end, i.e. whoever does the most damage in the end, wins the battle and claims the reward too. Another interesting thing to note about this Crossout Day event too is that the rewards for it are awful. Of course, there's the cosmetic rewards you get for doing a certain amount of the battles, such as a sticker and something else, but there's also the fact that you only really get, at maximum, 18 reward with the free premium time that is included with this little patch here for 3 days. So you don't get too much here, so I'll have to actually see here what else they actually have here. So you can actually see what they offer here is these 2 stickers on the left side here. They do have a new kind of cosmetic building item here that allows you to test your DPS here. You get this for free regardless as long as you log in. Plus again, the 3 days of premium time here just to titillate yourself just a little bit. But hey, any free premium time I'm a big fan of here. And if you also find yourself within the top 4 of the Brawl 6 times in a row, you also get the unique hologram crossout, which is up here in the top right, which I assume is either a vehicle thing or it's going to be an actual building item as well. We'll have to double check on that, but either way, that'll be quite nice to see. And I do appreciate any new brawls in the game, but the fact is, they also really got to start making these rewards for these brawls really worth it. Because when I spend 5 to 6 minutes per battle and I get 18 to 9 scrap with double resources, your reward structure is a bit wacky here. Because the thing is that half the reward for playing a battle is the actual reward you get towards your time. So respecting our time in that regard is definitely going to increase the enjoyment of modes like this. They also have other changes here. Now each survivor can exchange unnecessarily tradable parts obtained from containers for upgrade stabilizers here. To obtain the stabilizer instead of the non-tradable parts, select the part in your storage, open the context menu, and select the salvage tab. Salvaging process does not happen automatically. Before it begins, you'll be able to see what you can get as a result and confirm your decision. The stabilizer option for salvaging corresponds to the rarity of the salvage of the non-tradable part. For a non-tradable part, you'll receive 1 rare stabilizer. For a special non-tradable, you'll receive 1 special stabilizer, etc. Please on the non-tradable paint stickers of the common rarity, as well as parts that have been restored to your account via technical support, cannot be exchanged for stabilizers here. So it sounds like that you can actually take these non-tradable parts that you used to get from crates, or I think you could actually get non-tradable aspects of something for fusions. So I'm kind of curious if that's also going to be the same situation here. But the thing is, too, it really only matters for those who actually concern themselves with stabilizers. And not to mention, too, you already get stabilizers in abundance every time you prestige level with the engineers here. So it's not really necessary to even do this. Because, again, you'll just get a shiitake ton of these, and it's still going to take you a gargantuan amount of time to even get remotely near enough stabilizers here to even do something like a legendary or an epic salvage on this to get one single stabilizer or to optimize one single stat here. Not to mention too that for a lot of people here it's only worth upgrading during upgrade events, in which the cost of upgrading, or during Raven's Path events, which the cost of upgrading is actually a nickel. In fact, right now, if you're trying to do things like fuse tires, I would completely wait on that, especially with engines and cabins, because the thing is, the new torque system is about to come into effect here whenever they decide to launch that, and if they decide to keep that system. So if you're thinking about doing that, you may have to wait for that just to see if they actually put it into the next patch of 12.7 or whatever the new season may be, because if that new torque system comes in and you have all these brand new tire tonnages and power tonnages tires, they're not necessarily going to be the most optimal at that point. You're actually going to want to start doing things like torque tires instead to actually get yourself a bit more leverage there, so it'll be interesting to see as well. They kind of also added in something else here, the game modes themselves for missions here, which is the PvE aspect. They actually added in additional armored vehicles, so the factions from the Scavengers, Nomads, Dawn's Children's, whatever, now have additional vehicles at above 10,000 power score, which is always nice here. Having actual more difficulty when you're in super high leagues of power score will be very nice. Although I actually wonder if that means there's going to be a corresponding increase in the amount of rewards here. I'm going to guess probably no, because this is crossed out and they never increase the rewards here. Well, looks like Scavengers have been returned to the rotation here. But that's fine. Now I haven't really even noticed they're gone to begin with, because Stephanie will pretty much do the exact same thing. But alright, that appears to be the nice cross-out day patch as well. So I think that should be everything here. So what's your guys' opinion on the brand new upcoming parts here for the new season? And how do you guys feel about the brand new cross-out day here and the free rewards you get and the brand new mode that came with it? Let me know your feelings down below here too. Oh, before I should go, I should actually take a gander at the brand new map here. Now if you can actually take a look at the video I provided here, the map itself is actually a pretty interesting map here. The one thing I've noticed is that it does appear to be a continuation of the one map where it has the 3 points, two along the periphery and one in the center, and it's kind of that industrial garage feel to it. It appears to be that exact same map, but then just expanded out even further, and then also has a lot more greenery added to it. So it almost just feels like the exact same map, but then just like in the future in a way, like an extra 20-30 years down the line there. So it's actually a pretty interesting map too, plus it has a lot more verticality, ridges, water paths everywhere to make use for tracks, and just areas to jump off into. Plus I think there was a hazard with a acid pool that as soon as you jump into, you die. There isn't even any sort of like wait time, it's just instantly gone there. So that's kind of an interesting thing that kind of happened there. But beyond that, I would like to see any new maps is going to be a huge bonus, because the thing is that when it comes to this game right now, the fact is there's zero diversity in maps right now. There's just like 5 or so maps in rotation, so they really need to spice it up and add some more flavor in here just to at least prevent fatigue, because there's just so much of that right now with the monotonous structure of a lot of the maps. But I think that should be everything now that I've actually gone through everything. So now, ask your opinions again, leave them down below. But on that, guys, if you enjoyed what you enjoyed, subscribe, like, follow, all that jazz. And there's also a membership tab too that you can also join as well. Starts at $1. But beyond that, guys, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.